Okay, so this was a huge move for you guys, big cross-country move. And, I think I always tell people when they call me initially to just start that search criteria, to like to start searching for a home. I always tell people, don't be surprised if what you set out for is not what you end up with. Because a lot of times I think you feel like you have to have something, or you think something is super important to you, and then you get here and you realize that there's give and take, right? So if it's location, or if it's budget, or if it's size, or being close to something, oftentimes people change their criteria like mid-search. And so we kind of did that with your family too. Because when you first called me, you were like, I want acreage, we want a barn, like we want that big like Texas life.
Yeah.
And we transitioned a little bit. So
yeah, it's funny how that happens. We just kind of went in thinking that this is kind of what we wanted in a Texas home. This is what we thought, what people expect, like a big home with horses and cows in the front.
Yes.
And
the big Texas star.
Exactly. I don't know. I was thinking like something on TV, like the movie that's shown
Dallas.
Or,
yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
But grew up on that show.
So when we got here, we just kind of started looking around the Argyle area and thinking that that kind of represented what we were looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, we realized that we wanted to be close to a church. We wanted to be close to schools. We wanted to be close to grocery stores.
All your conveniences.
And a lot of restaurants, because I don't love to cook and I love
I understand.
to eat out. And so it was great to be in a city like Southlake that had everything literally in our backyard.
Where you're close. Yeah, where you can kind of get from A to B super, super quickly. And
right. But, initially we thought it would be okay to be a little further out and not and to be able to drive into work but the traffic can really weigh us down. And so we thought we'd be better served being close and being comfortable and not being stressed
being close
by the time we got home from a long commute.
Yes.
Just lifestyle and
quality of life. I mean, totally. When we moved to Prosper like 12 years ago, there was no grocery store. There was like one restaurant. There was literally nothing there. The first night that we drove out there to look at the town, my father-in-law was with us. So when we got back home that night, he goes, I think it's too far out. There's nothing there. And so we lived that life for a long time. But if you're not used to that rural life, it's different, you know?
Yeah, you were the pioneers.
We were. I know we were.
Pioneers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny now because there'll be a Whole Foods 5 minutes from us later this fall.
That's great.
So yeah. So everything definitely it's grown up so much. But yeah, so you guys ended up in Southlake. You also, though, used to live in Uptown previously. And so talk to me about that and just like the difference between being in the city and out in the suburbs.
So about 10 years ago, we had a place in Uptown, and we would bring the family. But when we brought the family, it was really only as a place to go on vacation. So we'd only stay for about a week at a time. And it was during Christmas break. It was during summer. It was during spring break.
Felt like vacation.
It was really vacation. And so it really felt like a fun place to go to museums and go to fun restaurants and the movie theater that's right there in Uptown.
The walkability of the city life.
Right, right. And, being close to the American Airlines Center, walking across the street and going to a hockey game.
Yep.
That was amazing. We even saw the circus.
Oh, Barnum and Bailey. Yeah.
I think it was one of the last years that they still had it.
Yeah.
We somehow caught it right before it closed.
That's fun.
So it was great. It was all fun memories, but Southlake just feels like a place where we can let our hair down. We can let the kids run out to the park to throw football. It's just a place to call home
Feels like home.
and stay for a long time.
I love that. So how would you say that you're finding community? Because I know it's hard when you move, like your family has from, California to Texas, when you're making this big like cross country move. You don't have any of the, you don't have your dentist, you don't have your hairdresser, you don't have any of those things. And just also like making friends and just having that like group of people that you kind of do life with. I know you haven't been here long. I think you guys have transitioned beautifully. So talk to me a little bit about that. Like, how have you gone about that? How have you kind of found your community in this new season?
So growing up in California, not growing up there, but living there for 20 years and raising our kids there, I realized that community is really built based on, what you put in is what you'll get out. And
so true.
we made our best relationships and friendships with those who we had things in common with, especially with our children.
Yes.
And so it was, through church, through schools, through sports was a big one. We really just went all in, whatever it is that we did.
Sports is such a great way to connect.
It really is.
Because it's so like, it just can be so like emotional. You're like all in on those games.
Yes. And then the season changes, and then all of a sudden the people that you were cheering against, now you're cheering with.
Yeah. New group.
It is. It's wonderful. But we really have been trying, to really network and finding, talking to my neighbors to the left and right of me, and just finding out, who do you use for your dog groomer? Who do you use for your gardener? And the more people I talk to, I just take every opportunity to talk about, what they're doing and what they love, about where they live and what restaurants they love to eat at. And so it's been great to just meet people and talk to people that are, doing things with our kids, meeting the parents of the kids that are
the parents that your teenagers are hanging out with, whose kids your kids are hanging out with.
Right.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It is. My son.
You want to know where they are and who they're with.
Yes.
Yeah.
My son's had a sleepover, and it's been great just meeting these are people who also, I'm finding a lot of them are new to Texas as well.
Yes.
But the other thing is that in our neighborhood uses a WhatsApp group. And I think, I'm not exactly sure how many, but I think there are over 200 or maybe even 300 homes in this community.
In the community that you're in,
and so that's a group of...
It's a lot of people to connect with.
200 to 300 families that we can, so that's where I get a lot of, who do you go to for your hair?
Right.
Who do you go to for facials? Who do you, a lot of
all those important things, that you have to figure out.
Yes.
Yeah. We always have our little black book too. So
yes,
you can always call us if you need something.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this has been so fun. I really appreciate you being here today. I want to do a little rapid fire if you're up for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay. All right. Got some questions for you. Okay. So you're kind of settled in South Lake now. What is your favorite restaurant there?
We tend to eat out a lot. And so I can honestly say I love having so many choices.
Yes,
so many different
everything
types
is there.
All types of cuisines. But one place where it seems the whole family loves to go, all 6 of us, is Cork and Pig.
Oh, I love that.
There's something for everyone there.
Yes.
And it's always fun.
I love it. They have a great brunch there.
I'll need to check it out.
Yeah, that's a good one for sure. Okay, so this is a really important question.
Okay.
Cowboys or 49ers?
Ooh. Well, I was a Niner fan since I think from birth. My grandfather always had the games on Sundays when we'd have dinner at his house, and he was the Joe Montana, Steve Young fan. But I will say that about 10 years ago, when my sister would come to visit me here in Dallas, she told me that her favorite team has always been the Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
And
Go
her
Cowboys.
husband is also a Cowboys fan,
Yep.
diehard Cowboys fan. And so we went to a Cowboys store to get them some merchandise. And I walked in with them just because there was nothing else to do at the the Galleria Mall,
Yep.
at the store there. And we walked into the store, and the gentleman finds me in the corner. He says, "Oh, is there anything I can help you find, ma'am?" And I said, "Oh, no, I'm a Niners fan." And he said,
You're like, I don't need anything in here.
he said, "Oh, no problem. We can be your second favorite team."
Oh,
And
so cute.
from that moment, I thought that was the nicest, most genuine, kind thing to say to someone,
Exactly,
to someone,
yes.
so, a snotty comment like, "I'm a Niners fan."
Yeah.
But he was so nice. And so I said, "You know what? Done. I'm gonna be a
Exactly. You're
Cowboys."
like, that's my number 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you buy any merch that day?
I did.
You did. I love
did.
it. I love
we
it.
actually ended up going to the game. And so I'm actually going this weekend.
Oh, you're going to the
With
Cowboys
my
game on
sister.
Sunday.
Yes,
oh,
we are.
So fun.
I have no idea who we're playing, but I'll figure it out.
Details. That's fine. I love it. Well, I'm glad you cheer for the Cowboys too.
Yes.
Okay, so one more question for you. I know you guys are just getting settled in your new home and lots of kind of new spaces to to cozy into, but what is your favorite room in your home?
Ooh. So my husband has his garage. That's his favorite
Yes, he does.
space.
Yes.
And I let him do whatever he wanted. And so when it was time for me to choose my space, I said, the room I really want is the craft room. And so we took an area upstairs. It was kind of like an open loft area.
Yeah.
And I turned it into my sanctuary. It's got a cabinet for everything, including a sublimation printer. I've got my Cricut machine on the desk.
All the things, all the craft things.
But everything is hidden. Like,
put away.
It's put away.
Yes.
It's
I can
neat
really appreciate that.
because most craft rooms can be
A
messy,
mess. Yes.
and this is not. It's beautiful, and it really feels like a welcoming place that even if the kids wanted to come and do homework, it's distraction free.
Yes, they can come hang out in there.
It's great.
Yes, I love that.
It's great.
Okay, so what do you use it for most?
Well, I think ever since the kids got into sports, it was always fun to make jerseys. It was always fun to make bags, personalize anything.
With your Cricut.
And now I'm doing like mugs and just Christmas,
everything needs a monogram, right?
Christmas ornaments.
Everything.
Yes, absolutely.
I love it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, Lori, thank you so much for joining me today. This
you.
has been so fun. So good to catch up. I really appreciate the opportunity to help your family make the move. It always just gives me the warm fuzzies whenever a family just like adapts and like settles so beautifully, and y'all really have. And so I'm grateful for your friendship and for the opportunity.
Right. I feel like we've come just full circle from the moment I reached out to you, and you just kind of took care of our family, including, driving our kids around with us to look at houses and,
The Starbucks stops.
the Starbucks stops and the popcorn in the car. And we've really felt like we were in good hands with you, helping us to find our dream home. And honestly, I wasn't quite sure how I'd feel going back home to California last week. And, it was great to see familiar faces. I drove by our old home, and I kind of missed it. Was able to see lots of friends and family there. But in the end, it just really felt like for the last 2 months, we've been building our home here and making it our own. And it really feels a really comfortable place to be. And everyone has their own favorite spot. It's really become our own. And it really felt great coming back home.
To come back home.
Coming back home.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yes. But thank you so much for making that dream come true for us.
Yeah,
And
thank you. It was a fun journey.
it was.
Yeah.